Welcome to episode 9 of my Te Araroa series, where I attempt to hike the 3,000 kilometer length of New Zealand. So far, my husband Brian and I have hiked 943 kilometers from the southern terminus of the trail over the last 50 days. Last week, the trail brought us through many rivers and we started to develop trenchfoot. This forced us to take 4 days off trail to let our feet heal. In this episode, episode 9, we feel hesitantly ready to start hiking again. We set out on a 119 kilometer, that's 74 miles, section that takes us higher and higher up into the mountains. Our days become filled with stunning alpine views and lovely huts to break at. We take added precautions to protect our feet and cross our fingers that we won't have a trench foot flare up. Okay, let's get into the episode. We are back on trail. We just ran into a couple who were a day ahead of us, and they are also having foot problems. They did 4 rest days, but they did 1 day out, like the day before us here. Their foot wounds started to open up again, so they turned back. We're just going to be very diligent on keeping eyes on our feet and taking care of them. It is a common issue amongst people who have been doing sort of the same schedule as us. Our plan today is to do about 15 kilometers or so. The trail is really nice so far, and we're going to stay at the first hut along this stretch. We took the shuttle from Hanmer Springs out to the trail, and we started hiking at 12:30 p.m. We've learned that drying out our feet whenever we take a break is a great way to take care of and protect our skin. The challenge with this in this region of New Zealand is the abundant sandflies. These flies will find bare skin and bite very quickly. I started to notice irritation of my skin from these bites, so I was hesitant to air my feet out at breaks. So Brian and I developed a plan. On this stretch, we would take our breaks inside as often as possible. If there was a hut, we would aim for that. If there wasn't, we would pitch our tent. This allowed us to dry our feet out without getting any new sandfly bites. We've been going for a couple hours now, taking it easy, easing ourselves back into the trail. Had like an hour and a half lunch break. And it is beautiful, glorious hiking trail today. So it's going very well. Hello.
Hello.
So beautiful. You can see the hut in here. We're gonna go stay there tonight. Wow. We made it to the hut. There are 3 others here, and we're just getting ready to go to bed. We're tired, so bedtime. Good morning. I got a heart this morning. It's Valentine's Day today. How cute. And everyone's gone. We heard their alarm and then we didn't hear them do anything else. So they're very fast and quiet at getting out. I've got my instant coffee in my Powerade bottle. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. I thought it was going to be way worse, but it's actually not too bad. Okay, just a quick morning tour now that there's no one else here. That's the kitchen area, hangout area, Brian, the intentions book. Another hangout area. One of the hikers slept here last night. And then over here is one of the bunk areas. So a couple stayed down there last night. And then over here is the second bunk area. Brian and I stayed here last night. Hooks all through so you can hang up your stuff. I better grab our water sacks, our Canucks. The intentions book is a way for the DOC to track where people are in case there's an emergency. So it tells you details for what to do. What we'll do is we say when we got here, the number of nights, where we're from, where we're going, that sort of thing. Okay. I've heard reports that some hikers have gotten sick with norovirus, so we've been extra careful sanitizing our hands in any sort of like shared space. All right, I've just come outside while Brian sweeps up. It is good hut etiquette to sweep if you're the last one to leave. I'm allergic to dust mites. Allergies, that's the theme of this hike. So Brian says, get out of here, I'm gonna sweep. I don't want you to breathe in all that dust. So very nice of him. And we've got 28 kilometers to hike today, so it's gonna be a big day. We just got over the Ann Saddle, so now we're dropping down the other side to Ann Hut, and our goal is to get there for a late lunch break. Such a beautiful area, beautiful hiking, relatively cruisy, which is amazing. Like the climb felt actually not too bad because there were switchbacks. So today has been a lovely day so far. I just can't get over how stunning these mountains are. Okay, I just fell back there. I stepped on what looked like the nice black trail, but it was a hole and I rolled my ankle really bad. And I was going down on it hard, like felt like I was gonna injure my ligament. So then instinctively, my body just fell to stop putting weight through that foot. So I fell onto my knee here. You can see I'm all muddy here. It really hurt. Like that was a bad roll. I yelled for Brian to stop so we could make sure I was okay. This trail's hard. I've fallen so many times. All right, I've decided I'm just gonna keep walking because it doesn't feel that painful. This is a challenging trail because the trail has a lot of erosion. I mean, the ground in general. And sometimes you really can't see it. I don't think it's possible to avoid falling.
So this would be the same as this.
Yeah. Brian and I have been incredibly diligent since leaving from Boyle to not get our feet wet. So we've been rock hopping everything, walking along logs and sticks to avoid getting our feet soaking wet. And so far, the skin's doing well. It's day 2 on, I think this is going to be a 6-day stretch. I have been falling a lot on this trail. I have captured some of these falls, or at least the aftermath, on my camera, but there have been many falls that I haven't captured. Te Araroa is the long distance trail I have fallen on the most, and I'm only a third of the way through. The most challenging terrain for me is in and around the river valleys. Often the trail is cutting above the river along the steep riverbank, and it is really prone to erosion. This makes the steps unpredictable, and sometimes the trail under your foot crumbles away. I also find that the trail can be very steep and hard to negotiate as it cuts straight up instead of switchbacking. There have been many reports this year of fellow TA hikers experiencing devastating falls. While there are some things you can do to try to prevent falls, like ensuring you aren't too fatigued, thirsty, or hungry, many of the falls I've had have not been preventable. I am a very experienced hiker with over 9,000 kilometers under my belt on long-distance trails alone, and yet I'm still falling at least once a day. As I heard about my fellow hikers' big falls and spoke with people along the way, I noticed a common sentiment emerge. There are some people who blame the hiker for their fall, and while I do think it's important to review when accidents happen to see if there's anything that could have been done to prevent it, I do not agree with the practice of blaming or shaming someone who suffered a major fall. It can happen to anyone. There is a very real possibility that the person made no mistakes and still took a fall. Being out in the backcountry has inherent risk, and we all know that. If you know someone who had a devastating fall this year, or you did yourself, I want to send you so much love and compassion. I hope you're healing. Good morning. We wild camped right where Brian is just getting his sunscreen on, and it was a really great spot. It wasn't windy, and there were a lot of sandflies, but that's pretty typical for New Zealand, we're realizing. Today we have about 22 kilometers to hike, and we're basically trying to get to this staging campground for climbing the big technical pass that we're doing tomorrow. So it's called the Forks, and we're gonna go there, camp, and then hit the pass early in the morning because it's apparently a lot of scrambling and stuff and slow moving. So actually the type of terrain that I love, but we have to plan to be a bit slower because it's a lot of climbing too. So that's our plan today. So we should be going just basically up this river valley all day, and the trail is extremely cruisy here. It's this 4x4 track. So I think today's probably going to be pretty straightforward. And then tomorrow will be our big challenging day. We always look ahead on Far Out to figure out our next camp spot, and in our research we discovered people's comments under a marked water source about the campsite. Here's a little tip for you. Sometimes camp spots on Far Out aren't marked with a tent icon. Sometimes if you read the comment under another type of icon, like a water source or a junction, you'll notice comments from fellow hikers explaining where a nearby camp spot is and usually how many tents would fit. We've been going for a few hours now and just talking the whole time, so I forgot to update you, but we got to that hut back there, had some lunch, and now we're heading out to do our final 9 kilometers of the day. We are 5 kilometers from our planned camp now, so we just stopped to start rehydrating our dinners because we find about 5K is usually a good amount of time for our dinners to rehydrate.
This is awesome.
Very realistic through hiker update. We got 600 meters from camp, and Brian's hiker hunger just hit him so hard that he's like, I need to eat my dinner now. He was feeling so hungry, his legs were shaky. So he's like, nope, even though it's right there, half a kilometer away, it's not worth pushing without eating. So we're stopped here, and we're gonna be at camp very soon. Hopefully find a spot. It's a very small campsite, so fingers crossed it's not too busy tonight. We're at camp now. I'm really tired, so I'm going to sleep. Brian's not here yet. And we're gonna get up early to hit the pass. So, good night, see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's 10 minutes to 6 a.m. We're up, we've had breakfast, so now we're packing up to hit the trail at first light. First light has just started and we are almost fully packed up. So we'll start walking in the next 5 minutes at the most, I think. So it's going to be a great day, I think. We're not going very far. We read in the trail notes that we should plan for this stretch to take like twice or 3 times as long as normal for us. So we're going, I think it was like 15 kilometers up over the pass and then dropping down into the river valley to a hut that we booked. We're now about halfway up the climb and it's going well. It is technical. It looks like it's going to get more technical up there. So we're just doing a good pace, staying focused. It feels amazing to be in the alpine. I love it up here. We made the saddle up there. It was gorgeous. And now we're just dropping down. I usually don't like to hang out up there too long because it's windy and cold. So we're dropping down the other side now. We are arriving at West Sabine Hut now. This is our goal for the day. Okay, we made it to camp. We are at a hut, but we prefer staying in our tent. So we did like our dinner, water, that sort of thing in the hut. And now we are here in the tent. And we have another big pass tomorrow, Traverse Pass. So the plan is to get up early again, get hiking by first light, and get the pass done as early as we can. We're a little bit further from it today than yesterday, so we have to like stay focused in the morning. And then after we do the pass, we want to drop down to a lake. We'll see how it goes. You never know what's going to happen on this adventurous trail. Here's the tent setup. I'm in here, Brian's out there doing a couple more chores, charging up my phone with my BioLite. This has been really great so far, charging up my phone, but I could also plug in 2 more cables. Usually I charge pods and my phone at the same time. This is definitely a hefty one for backpacking. It's 20,000 milliamp hours. Biggest one I've ever had, but with doing the content creation, I've got this camera to charge, this, my other camera, my drone now, so I'm carrying the weight. Now that I've shown you my charging setup, I'll show you all the cameras I'm carrying on this hike. My main camera is my Sony ZV-E10 with a Sony E11mm f1.8 lens. Most of the time when I'm talking to the camera and some point of view shots are taken on this camera. I love how well it performs in many different light conditions, especially low light. My action camera is a DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. I use it for quick action shots, whenever it's raining, and underwater because it's waterproof. I have loved being able to capture the true essence of a thru hike for you because I can film in the rain now. My third camera is my DJI mini drone that I use for all my aerial shots. I have really enjoyed being able to capture more of the depth of the landscape. And finally, my fourth camera is my iPhone. I capture all of my daily short form videos on it unless it's raining. I also quickly film some clips on it for these long form YouTube videos. Sometimes the simplicity of using the phone is what I need in the moment. I set the camera to film in 4K and the quality is still quite good. For the landscape shots you see with me walking through the terrain, those are almost exclusively filmed on Brian's camera. He has the Fujifilm X-T4 mirrorless digital camera with a Fujinon XF 27mm f2.8 RWR lens. He also has a Rode VideoMic NTG camera mount shotgun microphone with a dead cat on it, and some of the beautiful natural landscapes you've been hearing were captured on his camera. If you want to get any of these cameras for yourself, you can find my affiliate links in the description of this video. Okay, back to the video. First light just happened, so we are ready to go. Packed up, just doing the finishing touches on packing our bags, and then we're gonna get going. We've got about 30 kilometers to do today is our goal. Big pass to start. We're on our big climb up. We've been going for like 2 hours and we're still in the trees, but we're about to break tree line, which is my favorite part. I love the alpine. Look at this place. It is so incredibly beautiful. I'm so happy and grateful to be here. Like, it's just sweeping mountains all around. Unbelievable. And sometimes in these moments when I'm cresting an epic alpine ridge or saddle, flashbacks in my mind happen to the days that were boring or really, really hard, like the day we had to walk the water canal and I just found it so boring, or the days that were just so muddy with no views. All of those days, all of those kilometers add up to this moment, to the ability to be here in this moment. And I just feel so grateful for that. And these places feel just extra special when we've walked over 1,000 kilometers to get to them. It's just a really cool feeling, but they're also just absolutely special as they are. What do you think, Brian?
I feel extremely grateful to be here and extremely grateful for the time and nature.
Isn't it so interesting how each section is so different on this trail? If you watched last week's episode 8, you'll remember we were down low in river valleys most of the time. Now here we are climbing up a gorgeous alpine pass. Made the pass, Traverse Pass. It's so stunning.
A bug just went in my ear.
Welcome to Upper Traverse Hut. There's no one else in here right now. We stopped here for lunch, so it's a perfect chance to give you a hut tour of a Department of Conservation hut. Here I am standing at the front door. So right away you see there's a big cooking surface there, wood burning stove, and another cooking surface. And then here's the hangout area. So there's 2 tables and the benches are flipped up right now because I guess whoever left swept the floor. Here's the view out this window. Out this window, there's Brian. And this one. Here's one of the cooking areas. So you've got a surface here for cooking and a sink. Oftentimes these do have water in them, but it's not drinkable. Here at the fire station, you've got a fire, but you've also got a hanging rack for wet gear. Here's the other cooking area with another sink. Let's check out the view from here. Beautiful forest. And then, so there's the front door where we came in. Here are 2 sleeping quarters separated. So you've got this one, lots of space for people, big long bunks. a fire exit, very important when there's a wood stove, and a bunch of hooks for hanging gear. And then the second bunk room is identical. Oh, the door is ajar. Don't want that. Rodents can get in.
Ready?
Yeah.
Excellent. This is absolutely wonderful. I'm into it. I'm into it.
It's a nice hut.
Look where I hung our socks. Socks with a view.
Socks with a view. Nice. There's usually also always a map of the area. Here is a great overview. So we came from here and we stayed at this hut last night. And then we are at this hut now. So we've done this big pass, the Traverse Saddle. And then our goal is to actually do a lot more distance all the way up here to Lakehead Hut. After this pass from here down, apparently it's a lot quicker hiking. So we're hoping that's the case. And some info. So no drone footage from this section because we entered Nelson Lakes National Park and I don't have a permit for that. I guess I'll just eat some raw cashews. At least it's a nice view, even though it's not good food. This is all I have left for snacks. Brian, what do you have to share with me?
An even bigger bag.
Just raw cashews.
A liquid version of nuts.
We are low on food. And of course we both saved these till the end because we weren't enticed by them. Oh,
I've
more
got
nuts.
Nuts mixed with craisins. Oh. Nuts mixed with other nuts covered with things.
At least those have flavor. That's my breakfast for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I can't eat oatmeal anymore. I'm done. Oh, you have crackers. I want crackers and peanut butter.
Crackers.
What? What are those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we've been here for like 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, so it is time to go. We're packing up. We're done filtering water. Okay, bye, nice hut. The trail has become extremely cruisy for the most part. A little eroded here, but otherwise really smooth hiking. We made it to camp right as the rain started falling, so I set up the tent super fast and got all of our stuff under the vestibules. And then we just together got everything set up in here, taking turns doing stuff like filtering water, setting up the beds, that sort of thing. Tomorrow we only have about 10 kilometers to get into town, which is amazing. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It was a very rainy night. Our tent fared pretty well, but the splashback was really bad because the raindrops were so big, I guess. So the splashback got into the tent a little bit. Probably could have pitched it a little lower to the ground, but I didn't for whatever reason. So we're happy we're going to be going to stay in a room tonight and we can dry everything out. We have 10 kilometers on apparently a very cruisy trail. So it should take us like 2 hours. Throughout this section, we managed to keep our feet dry most of the time, and they haven't shown signs of a trenchfoot flare-up. However, now that it's rainy, our feet got soaking wet. A big rainstorm is forecasted to come through the area tomorrow, so we decided to take a rest day here in St. Arnaud to wait it out. We stayed at the hostel and ate all 3 of our meals at the restaurant. It was very pleasant. Tomorrow, we will start the next section, the infamous Richmond Mountain Range. Can't wait to share it with you. See you then. Thank you so much for watching.